Hey, what's up you guys, I'm back with another Marvel Future Fight video. Now if you didn't already know, Netmarble recently posted a notice saying that they wanted to upgrade the new Endgame update to the game to make it more enjoyable. So I'm assuming that they'll definitely make some tweaks to the already available uniforms or perhaps add new characters. So if this video is going to go over some suggestions for Marvel Future Fight for which characters and which uniforms they definitely need to tweak. And the first uniform I'm suggesting is definitely Iron Man. Yeah, justice for Iron Man. This video will contain some spoilers for Avengers Endgame, so click away from the video if you haven't watched the movie. Alright, first and foremost, why does Iron Man deserve an upgrade? Tony Stark dies in the movie. Okay, so of all the characters to deserve a massive power boost, Iron Man definitely deserves that. And his Endgame update just doesn't do enough for the character. It does buff him damage wise, but Iron Man still isn't meta in any of the modes. I wouldn't use him for World Boss Ultimate, I wouldn't use him for PvP. Currently, I just have him relegated as a Shadowland or Alliance Conquest character. And if you do have the Infinity War uniform, there's really almost no reason for you to buy the Endgame uniform, even though I think that the Endgame uniform looks beautiful. I like the look, I know some people don't, but yeah, it does look good. His team suit uniform, however, looks like trash. It doesn't even look like this in the movie. My god, this is ugly. So anyway, if you look at Iron Man's skills, not many changes have been made. It says here 5 skill changes, and some of the stats have been changed, but nothing truly is different for this uniform. Jet mode, the skill that has him flying around like this, let me play it for you on the screen. This stupid bloody skill now has a 35% stackable all defense down, and guess what? It doesn't apply to world bosses. So what's the point of having that, or even having that in the description? Where are you going to use this skill? PvP? Shadowland? No. Okay, so definitely they need to make a lot more buffs to Iron Man. They need to make this, if they don't remove this stupid 4th skill altogether, either give it immunity or have the all defense down work in World Boss Ultimate. You can keep the 5th skill, you can maybe keep the 3rd skill, I quite like it, but you definitely need to change 1, 2, and 4. Perhaps have more beams, have more machines flying around. This is nanotech. The world is your oyster for this uniform. You can literally do so many things, and half of the things that sorry, I hit my table. Half of the things that he does with this uniform doesn't even happen in the movie, so you can do way more. His tier 3 rework is appreciated, but Iron Man needs some more love. Definitely buff this character. Definitely have some new skill changes, because Iron Man deserves to be the top of the meta. If you can show so much love for Captain America, his new uniform, Endgame uniform for Captain America is amazing. If you can show that much love for Captain America, you can definitely show just as much love, maybe even more, for Tony Stark. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, a uniform that needs to happen is, yeah, I know Captain America. I've just said that Captain America is amazing. I'm really contradicting myself, but Captain America needs a uniform with him wielding Mjolnir. Have it be a synergy uniform with his Endgame uniform, and have it cost maybe 350 crystals at release with a discount. And you don't really need to change any of his skills. Perhaps you can just change the 4th skill, which I'm going to show you right now. It has him tossing his shield around. You can easily add an extra bit of animation to that, add a layer on top of it with Mjolnir bouncing around with his shield with lightning. That would be it. You know, you don't have to change anything else. Just add lightning damage to that skill and add the little Mjolnir animation, and I think it will be badass. But if this uniform doesn't happen, it's okay, because Captain America is already in a spot where he's the best combat hero in the game, and despite being a combat hero, a class type which is known for being weaker than the rest, he deals incredible damage. Okay, I get like 1,000,000 over points in ABX with my crappily built tier 3 Captain America. And I mean, to me that's impressive. That might not be impressive to you, but yeah, Captain America is already really powerful. Next person that definitely deserves some love or deserves a buff is Black Widow. Just like Tony Stark, Black Widow dies in Avengers Endgame, and her uniform, her Endgame uniform, suffers the same crux that Tony suffers suffers the same problem as the Iron Man uniform, and that it's that her skills are just way too similar and they don't do anything special. Yeah, Widow's Bite and Coup de Grace do deal lightning damage, but that's about it. Black Widow has nothing else. She has no guard break immunity, native guard break immunity. She has no penetration. She does have 2 seconds of immunity on one of her skills. Where is it? Is it this one? This one? Where's the immunity? I thought she has immunity. I can't remember. If I'm not wrong, she does have immunity on one of her skills. I don't play this character, but that's about it. What would you do with this character? She's just going to be relegated to Shadowland and maybe Alliance Conquest, and that's it. She isn't really breakout in any of the modes. And look at this model. Look at the design for her in her endgame update. Is beautiful. Don't let this go to waste. Definitely buff the character for her to do more. Maybe make her a meta for like Corvus Glaive, World Boss Ultimate, or Proxima, and I think you'd have Black Widow in a comfortable position, because currently there's just nothing much to do with this uniform. It's good, but it's nothing fantastic, and it's just not worth getting. I won't even consider building the character, because all of her uniforms, even her best uniform, the endgame one, doesn't really take her anywhere. I just don't see anyone using this character for anything other than Shadowland. Next uniform suggestion is Captain Marvel. Yeah, I know, she just got a uniform, but hear me out. She has a new look in Endgame that is pretty cool. I don't like the short hair, but I do like the new uniform with the sash. So perhaps you could make it a synergy uniform with Captain Marvel's Captain Marvel uniform, and have it cost also, like the previous suggestion for Captain America, 350 crystals. Now in terms of skill changes, since currently Captain Marvel is PvP oriented, she's not really super good for PvE, but she still can hold her own in PvE. Have her new uniform be more PvE oriented, and have her have more skills involving her photon blasts. Because if you didn't already know, if you don't have Captain Marvel in Marvel Future Fight, most of her skills are very punchy melee. It's like as though she's a combat character that can fly. So she plays a bit like Minerva without her uniform and without the dragon transformation. So yeah, I suggest adding Carol Danvers' look from Endgame to Marvel Future Fight. Now in terms of new characters, I only really have one suggestion, and that would be to add Rescue to Marvel Future Fight, because if you didn't already know, Pepper Potts does have her own Iron Man, Iron Woman uniform in Endgame, and it would be pretty cool because she does have one moment where she has a bunch of like lotus flower looking machines flying around her, blasting her opponents. In terms of skills, I don't really have a lot of suggestions because I myself am not creative, but you could definitely consider her adding her as a paywall. Yeah, I know, I don't like the word paywall, it's dirty, but every time they add new characters, out of the 3 characters, 1 is going to be paywall. So if you do add characters to Endgame Part 2 as an update, you could consider adding her, Okoye, and M'Baku, and then have either Okoye or actually I don't know who would be the paywall, but I think Rescue would definitely most likely be the paywall if you were to add an update with those 3 characters. And lastly, the character that needs a uniform, or should get a uniform, is Thor. Yeah, if you didn't watch Endgame, Thor actually wields both Stormbreaker and Mjolnir. Yeah, he definitely needs an Endgame uniform. He's one of the core Avengers, he has a new look, and he definitely deserves some love. In terms of skills, Thor... In terms of skills overall, actually Thor's 1st to 4th skill are all terrible, they're all boring, and his tier 3 skill hits with the force of a wet fart or a wet paper towel. It's terrible. Only his 5th skill looks really cool, has him flying, and deals damage. But just like the MCU, Marvel Future Fight also tends to forget that Thor can fly and only has it on his 5th skill. They can do the same for his 4th, which does just this, his 2nd, which is just more swinging, his 1st, slightly jumping and swinging, and his 3rd is just slamming onto the floor. Yes, there's lightning, yes, that's cool, but there's so much more you can do with Thor's character. You can have him throw Stormbreaker around and have it swing around. You can have Rocket Raccoon be a summon. That would be cool because Rocket summons Thor in his new Endgame uniform. You can have his 3rd skill be him flying around and slamming onto the ground. If you can make such an amazing 3rd skill for Captain Marvel, which has her flying, showcasing the full extent of her abilities, you can do the same thing for Thor. And Thor's 6th skill, the animation is super cool. It's that moment from Infinity War when he came to Wakanda. Super cool, but its power does not match its cool factor. It's just, it hits like the damage is terrible. You need to change his third skill, his tier 3 skill. If you can do a rework for Iron Man's tier 3 skill, you can do one for Thor, but you don't have to change the animation. Just put a few tweaks here and there, make the damage higher, maybe have an applicable all defense down, I don't know, but you need to improve his tier 3 skill. And you also need to definitely make Thor a little bit more special, because currently Thor isn't really meta in any of the modes. I did use him for PvP, but currently I only use him for AVX and Shadowland and sometimes Alliance Conquest. So Thor is also in a place like Black Widow where he's not really super meta for anything. He is stronger than Black Widow, that's for sure, but he's not really meta in any mode. So what you can do to make Thor a little more meta for World Boss Ultimate perhaps is maybe have him have a skill much like Nebula's, which involves lightning resistance down. Maybe have him decrease lightning resistance of an enemy the more he uses his skills. So that can be a new tier 2 passive, that can be a new passive for Thor that'll definitely elevate his character into a spot that is more special. So yeah, that is my suggestion for Thor. And in terms of the appearance of his uniform, yeah, we have no choice. It's his Endgame uniform, so he'll have to have the fat belly Thor look. Yep, so that'll be Thor. So in terms of suggestions, that is really all I have. Iron Man rework, Black Widow rework, Captain America Mjolnir uniform, Captain Marvel Endgame uniform, Rescue as a character with perhaps having Okoye and M'Baku added to the mix, and a Thor Endgame uniform. So what suggestions do you have? What do you think should be added to a Marvel Future Fight Endgame Part 2 update? Leave your interesting comments in the comment section below. And this has been the Teak Talk, and I'll see you next time. Peace.